So if you follow me on social media, you already know that a few weeks ago we moved into our new home that's located about an hour away from where we originally were located in Birmingham, Alabama, up to Gaston, Alabama. Now Gaston is northeast of Birmingham, but somehow I managed to gain a growing zone. Birmingham put me in zone 7B, and Gaston now I'm 8A, which I'm not complaining about, but we'll see how things go with the next growing season. Anyway, we've been here for 3 weeks. We moved on July the 10th. I had to move all the plants myself because the moving company we hired does not do anything alive. If I had known that ahead of time, actually I did know that ahead of time, but if I had been thinking straight, I would have just rented a U-Haul truck and hauled it all that way. A lot of the plants that I had lost leaves because it was in the back of pickup trucks, but hey, lesson learned. Hopefully we don't have to move anytime again soon because that was not pleasant. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, so 3 weeks we've been here. We decided it was time to clear out some of the backyard. We have about 1.5 acres here, which is about an acre more than what we had at the other place. However, because of all the trees that were in the backyard, it looked like we had a lot less land. It was kind of depressing at first because as a gardener, I'm starting completely over when I had done so much of the other house. We were at the other house for 10 years, and about the last 4 or 5 years, I really invested a lot of time and money into making the yard better. I left behind my 6x8 greenhouse, which I'm sad about, plus all the plants that I planted over the years. So I do have my hoop greenhouse. It's a 7x15 hoop that I'm going to frame out, but there was nowhere to put it. And there was really no place except the middle of the yard that got enough sun here. So we decided to go ahead and invest money and get some trees taken down so that it would really open up the backyard. Now, as much as I would like to use that whole backyard for gardening stuff, that is way too much for me as one person. I'm never going to be able to maintain that. Let's be real. The raised garden beds that I had at the previous house, was a struggle for me to keep up with that and do everything else that I needed to do. So I am happy with my gardening area, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you all of the cleared land. It's pretty bare right now. I'm looking at it over here. It's pretty bare right now, but we are going to figure out what we're going to do with it. We're contemplating sod because sowing grass seeds is just going to be a pain in the butt. Anyway, let me walk you through and show you what the property looks like now that we have all of these trees cleared. It looks much bigger. Very, very happy. Here's the backyard now. It is amazing with taking out those sparsely scattered trees here in the front, how much it opens up the area. It's wonderful. So this is kind of the backyard now with all the trees gone. The tree service company was here for about 11 hours on August the 1st to get everything done that we needed them to do. Here are several before and after pictures to kind of give you an idea of just how big of a difference it is. Here is where most of my gardening stuff is going to happen. We'll have it kind of set up as a little tier thing going down to that little area here. This is where I'm going to frame out my 7x15 greenhouse, the hoop greenhouse that I had at the other house. I'm going to frame it out with a better door, windows that will automatically open. And I need to order some greenhouse film because the cover that came with it when I ordered it last fall is already torn. So on your screen from the right, this is the lower tier. Over to here, I will be putting in some vegetable gardens and learning from the mistakes that I made with the one that I had at the last house. We'll also probably do some flower beds here. Once we get someone to come in and level this area out and this area out, I'll have a better idea of what kind of footage, and then that way I could maybe start drawing out some plans and figuring out how I'm going to do the garden beds. But yes, I have quite a large area to work with, so I'm super excited. It is like a blank canvas just waiting to be painted on. And as I mentioned earlier, while I would love to have free reign to do whatever I would like to do here in this area, it is just going to be too much for me to handle as one person. So we are contemplating doing Bermuda sod here. We are going to have to get a company to come in with a couple of loads of topsoil to kind of level out the area, but not so much that it affects the drainage, especially if it comes a downpour. We don't want any kind of standing water issues. And see, I don't know if you can see because it's so shadowy, but I'm going to take you guys over here real quick in this little corner. One of the things that I didn't have at the previous house was a place to plant a shade garden. It was just really too sunny around our house, not really any shady spots, so I never really tried because I was afraid the plants would die. So I saw this little pathway after the tree service left, and I thought it would be really awesome to maybe try to clear out a pathway and eventually do like a little walkway of shade plants. I mean, like, this is step 100, so it's not going to happen anytime soon, but I would like to try to keep it cleared out so it doesn't get overgrown, so that I could do that eventually. Also, over time, I would eventually like to clean up the border around the wooded area here and plant some perennial stuff, perennial flowers, have like a little basically like a border flower bed of various things. This is something I will see when I look out the kitchen when I'm doing dishes and stuff. So it'd be pretty to look out and see some flowers down here growing. So in the meantime, all of my greenhouse tables and the plants that I plan to overwinter are up here lining part of the driveway. Some of the annuals that I started from seeds, when I started them, I'd hoped that when we did move, I would have a place to plant them in flower beds around the new house. Unfortunately, the guy that lived here before us did not believe in flower beds or plants. So there's nowhere to actually plant them, and starting new flower beds is probably the last thing that I'm concerned about at the time. So maybe next spring I'll be able to plant more around the house, but until then I can look at everything over here blooming. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video as I've kind of walked you through and gave you a quick glimpse at some of the things that we're planning on doing around here. Hopefully some of it will be in progress before the end of the year. I do need to get that 7x15 greenhouse up and ready to put some of my plants in to overwinter before it frosts, which here in Alabama, I mean, that could be November, it could be December. Probably gonna bet on at least by sometime in November. So I still have a few months to get that done, hopefully, before it frosts. This will be the year that it starts to frost, like the very beginning of October. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you would like to see more videos as I kind of do things around here, or eventually I'm going to be showing you some of the things that I'm experimenting with. Sometimes it may seem like I have a lot of experience, especially on social media, but I'm more of a trial and error type gardener. I'm pretty much like, hey, let me just see what this will do. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, I try not to think about all the time I wasted. So if you want to follow along with those videos as well, please make sure you subscribe below, and thank you guys for watching.